Okay, so today what we're going to talk about is we're going to be talking about how to find the distance between 2 points. So these are going to be lattice points. They can be a map, all this good stuff. Okay, and this is going to come into that because we talked about how if we have it on a graph and everything like that, and we have lattice points, we can make a slope triangle to find that, and that will then also, if we make our triangle connecting them, and we make it a right triangle, we can then use Pythagorean theorem to figure out the distance between 2 points. So I'm going to use a example here. So imagine here now, obviously if this was a real world example, we wouldn't have just lattice coordinates. We'd have to put it onto a graph, but we could use this. It would be an extra step, but we could then use this idea to help us find that. So if I had the coordinates -3, 7, and let's say 5, -2, and I wanted to find the distance between these 2 points. What I would do is, first thing is to do, I would plot those coordinates on the graph. So -3, 7, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my point right there in black. Okay, and I'm going to make the other one in red. That's, I'm going to underline, I'm going to make it in red here. That's going to be 5, -2, so over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 2, 1, 2, plot that coordinate. Okay, now that we have that though, now we're going to make our triangle connecting this. So we want to make it a right triangle, just like when we did our slope here. I'm going to make my right triangle go down and go over, and that makes my 90-degree angle, which then allows us to then make our right triangle, which then we can then make that opposite side, which will be our hypotenuse. That'll be the side that we are missing here. And that will be the length between these two coordinates. So once we have that triangle, we can just count here our units. How many blocks is it? So I'm going to count down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are 9 units down. Now we don't have to worry about the negative here because distance is never negative. So we can just worry about the positive here. So we have 9 down, and then over we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over. Okay, so now that we have our side lengths, we can use our Pythagorean theorem. Remember, Pythagorean theorem is leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So it's going to be 8 squared plus 9 squared equals c squared, or the opposite side, which I'm going to just label that as c squared because that's the hypotenuse. We don't know that side length, so now we can just solve this. So you have your calculator at disposal like we've been practicing. 8 squared is 64, plus 9 squared is 81, and that equals c squared. Okay, and then we can add these together. So 64 plus 81 is 145, and that equals c squared. Take the square root, and the square root of 145 here is, let me type this in, square root of 145 is 12.04. So c is 12.04. Now, this is distance, so we should label this. Now, we don't have a label, so I'm just going to call it units. That's why it's a generic label. So 12.04 units for this problem. So if you're asked to find the distance between 2 points, you can just graph them on a graph, especially if they're lattice points, make your triangle, and then just count your boxes based off what the units are. And these are all by ones, so we don't have to worry about it. And then we can get our answer. So between those 2 points, our distance is 12.04 units. All right. So let me scroll over here on my screen. If it'll let me scroll, something's not working. Sorry, I just dropped my pen. Technology's not working here very well. Okay, sorry about that. My computer is glitching, and I got it fixed now. So here we go. I'm going to put up a new one here. I'm going to put up -5, -3, and let's go with 2, 3. Okay, so same thing, we're going to find the distance between these points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plot these points for us, and then you can go ahead and find the distance between these two. So you can try it all by yourself now. So 2, 3. So those are your 2 coordinates. Now try your best with your computer. Okay, count, imagine where that right triangle would be, and then find the distance. And when you're ready, go ahead and resume the video. Alrighty, so now that you resumed the video, you should have made, here's your right triangle, all right there. And here is our hypotenuse. Okay, our hypotenuse right now, this isn't the best right triangle. Okay, but you should count, we are up 5, so that's 5 on the going up. And going over, we are, see, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are 8 up, okay? So, or sorry, 8 over, my fault, 8 over. Oh no, I just made a mistake. Sorry, I made a mistake when plotting these points. Let's change this to 3, 2. That's my fault. 3, 2. I just realized I made a mistake. So, but still going through, I plotted the point. That's what I graphed there. Now you can continue doing this. So we can use our Pythagorean theorem. So 5 squared plus 8 squared, those are our legs, and that equals our hypotenuse squared, which is c squared. 5 squared is 25, plus 8 squared is 64, and that equals c squared. Adding those together, you get 89 equals c squared. Take the square root of 89, and the square root of 89 is, let's see here, 9.43. And then we don't have a label again on this one, so we're just going to label this units. Okay, we don't have to worry about the negative because we can't have a negative distance. So 9.43. All right. So let's go to our next problem here. Now, with some of these problems, though, it can be like I took a map of where I'm at right now here. Okay, I took the map and I went and put it down on there. Okay, and I graphed it of the town. All right, so this, you can imagine here, every block here is 1 mile. So every line equals 1 mile. We can just go with that, okay? And we want to figure out the distance between some points. So I want us to find, and we're not going to imagine these are roads, I want us to find the distance between Walmart, okay, and Poncheros. Okay, I want us to find the distance between Walmart and Poncheros. So the same thing will happen here. We can just go ahead and make our right triangle when we do this. I'm going to make my right triangle here. All right, make that right triangle through here, and then I can go ahead and do like I just did. I just took the map and I imposed it on a graph. Nothing changes. You don't have to make the coordinates because I already have it. So then you just got to count how many is it. So that's 4, and that is 9. So we are 9 down, and then over we are 1, 2, 3. And now you can use your the Pythagorean theorem to find that last side. Okay, and that's the hypotenuse again. So we want to do 9 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. And when you solve this, you have 81 plus 27 equals c squared. Adding that together, you get 108 equals c squared. Then take the square root, and the square root of 108 is 12.39 rounded. Okay, rounded to the nearest hundredth. Now, nothing changes here. Okay, now we just have the map. You're doing the same thing. You just use the graph to figure it. Now, but our units, though, we know one line was 1 mile. So I can go ahead and label that, though. This time it is going to be, so they would be 10.39 miles away. That's how far Walmart would be from Poncheros if we could just fly there like a bird. All right, it wouldn't be 12. You don't just add up those distances. No, you just find the distance between the 2 points like we've been doing. So let's do one more here. Let's do, I want us to find the distance from Chick-fil-A. Okay, find the distance from oops, if this will write, Chick-fil-A. That didn't spell right, but whatever. To, let's go with Smoothie King. I want you to find the distance between Chick-fil-A and Smoothie King. So you can go ahead. No, my computer's not working very well, sorry. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and try your best to find this one out by yourself. Alright, so now that you resume the video, you should have made your right triangle. Okay, using that, and then you can count. So we are 1, 2, 3 over again this way, and up we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so doing that we could do 3 squared, leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared, which we don't know. That's my unknown. So 3 squared is 9 plus 7 squared is 49, and that equals c squared. That's 58 equals c squared. And remember, this is still one line is 1 mile, which I should have said that, but square root of 58 is 7.62 rounded correctly. So you should have got 7.62 miles, okay, because each line was 1 mile. We would keep the same thing. All right. So now that you've tried some of these out, I want you to go to the Pear Deck that I have posted on the Canvas assignment as well. And I want you, or Pear Deck for your class, make sure you click the correct class so you get completion credit for this. And on each slide, you'll be able to do your work, okay? You'll be able to make your points, you'll be able to make your right triangles, and I want you to complete all those problems on the Pear Deck as your practice work today, and that way you will not have to submit anything to Canvas, though, for this one, okay? Because I'll be able to just see it all in the Pear Deck. All right? If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and we'll review when I get back.